Now, 7:05 PM, we'll call the Wednesday, October 1st meeting of the Master Plan Implementation Committee to order. It's a hybrid meeting at Town Hall and Conference Room 2, but we moved to Land Use Room as one Conference Room 2 was being used. We'll start by taking a roll call vote,
Diane Gale.
Dave Spina.
and Norm Cheever. We do have a quorum. We do expect Josh Raymond to join us on Zoom shortly. And there's nobody, no public representation here. There's no request online, so we will not have a public comment session tonight. First item under new business is volunteer to take minutes. We have that, okay? We want to approve the 9/17 minutes. That's the next item. Anybody need a copy of those?
Yeah.
That a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minute.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Diane Gale, aye.
Dave Spina, aye.
Norm Cheever, aye, unanimous vote.
Josh?
Josh Raymond has joined us. Let's sign the deed. Appropriate sheet. Everybody need a copy of the agenda? You good? You need one, Josh?
Take one.
Okay, so we'll put that away. And the next item is the latest liaison reports. We have some interesting comments tonight.
Does anybody else have anything first that they would like to?
Yeah, I can say real quickly, the planning board, we met and discussed our lead items, support items, and the same also for the beautification committee.
Yes,
Looking at the, the automatic rankings that came out of the calculation, just to make sure that we as a
Yeah.
team agreed on what came out of that, and there was no major, discrepancies. At the end of the day, we said, yep, we agreed that those are the priorities we want to move forward with.
okay,
So I can let everybody know, okay, you realize the next step now is gonna be establishing.
Oh, okay.
Of activity there, so that
all right,
is going on there. And I don't remember if I mentioned last time the CPC is in the process. There's a few of the members had already prioritized their support
right,
items. The remaining few are leading their support.
Okay.
And should be getting those.
all right. I can report that from the conservation and open space committees, we went through our list of action items, and we decided what our goal will be for completions. And basically Concom says we're gonna do one a year. And open space says, because they don't have a committee yet, operating committee. They're not gonna do any this year, but they'll start one a year, starting year 2. So we have our first commitments in. Now, I sent an email around that unfortunately Jessica Taylor has to resign,
Mhm.
or has resigned because work
Mhm.
changed dramatically, I guess, for her. So one of the things we're gonna have to do is, I hate to say it, redistribute her load.
Oh, yeah, the rest of them too.
And she has schools,
Mhm.
agriculture, Board of Health, Cultural Council, DPW, and tree warden.
So the first one where you.
I was gonna
You think you
Go
can
to the
make
school
that
committee
first
meeting
school
on
committee?
Monday.
You can make it on Monday?
Yes, I can, yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay,
And you'll be there too, Josh?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, So are you signing up to take the school
I'll
committee
take
at
to the
this point in
committee at that
time?
juncture, yeah, until.
And then when Josh is comfortable, we'll switch it over to him.
Sure, that's.
Okay, is that fair enough for you? Charlie?
Unless you want it. I don't
No,
care.
no,
Okay.
totally good. I think it's
Okay,
makes sense for me to guys.
I can easily take DPW and the tree warden,
Mhm.
and I can take one other,
Yeah, what were the other ones?
we got the agricultural commission, board of health and cultural council. I'll be glad to take AdCom.
I was just gonna say, I can take AdCom. I have a lot in common with them, but if you want to, that's fine. And then I can take the other two,
Board of Health and Cultural,
sure.
is that fair?
Is that fair to you?
Thanks.
Okay, so.
That's fair to you, Norm?
Yes.
You good with
that's
that?
Okay.
Okay.
fine. Okay, and now on to liaison reports from Diane.
So Monday, we had the select board meeting. And I emailed you what. So we had gone through, I gave them the total priorities. All of the actions in order with and without Jason, because we had like 3.5 contributors. We didn't want Russ to feel he was married to Jason's priorities. So we kind of, we had it totally weighted, and then I separated out 3 current versus all 4. So we had that, really no one disputed the prioritization. What's at the bottom pretty much was at the bottom for everybody. To facilitate the commitments, I did the schedule that I emailed you, if you want to pull that up there. And I don't know if anybody's actually tried to plot that yet. Unfortunately, I found it a little cumbersome and I rejiggered it. I put the columns the other way, and he'll get that in a second. So again, to facilitate, we had recently, in the past few weeks, gone through select board goals and objectives for, the next 3 or 4 years. And then I thought, well, to myself, I'm sitting there thinking, well, this is just lovely, because a lot of what we had for goals and objectives are common to the master plan. Makes sense, hopefully it would be. So to facilitate, I then took all of our goals and objectives, went through all of our master plan recommended actions, and kind of melded the two I pulled the common threads together. And then on our commitments, we have some things that essentially are completed. So I listed those year 1. We have some things that are in process. We can probably complete by June 30th. There are some things that will fall into year 2 or 3. We can start them now, year 1, but the completion will be in year 2. Presented that Monday. And it was wholly rejected by one and lukewarm by the other. Pretty much the pushback was, you can't tell me what to do. These are your order, they thought very granular. You're ordering me to develop municipal energy storage. You're telling me to establish a multi-community aquifer. What if I don't think those are important? What if I don't think those are ours to do? What if those belong to other elected boards and commissions to decide, not us? You're telling us we're going to shove these down everybody's throats.
The town has already decided.
And I don't know if it was in my presentation, Norm was there. And at the end, I said, this is a good practice. We're the guinea pigs. I'm sure we're gonna see this over and over and again, when we get into actually these lead parties trying to
Mhm.
implement something and finding it staggering, finding it choking.
Yeah. Just to be clear, all these items that they said, we don't wanna do this, were things that they prioritized, right?
Yes,
And maybe some of you will.
and said they didn't even want to do them. And I said, and that's perfectly all right. That
Yeah.
means they will never make it to the commitments.
Right.
And I said, and we have the opportunity, and Russ Anderson wasn't there when we were at the
Mhm.
early stages of this, of changing, modifying, transferring to someone else. So he was missing that piece, which may be part of his rejection. But we can still do that. I said, if there were things on here, Norm knows that I didn't even want to rank because they were like below, they were in hell for me.
Mhm.
They didn't have a rank.
Right.
Were never gonna be a yes vote for me. So we would make the recommendation to cancel those or delete those.
Sure.
So I asked,
Mhm.
maybe we want to take that approach, go through those that we find and justify with a paragraph
Mhm.
why this will not happen, why we
Sure.
counter recommend
Mhm.
this will never happen.
Right.
We didn't end with any resolution, unfortunately. On this sheet, I just want to tell you how this went for me. So, if you have the ones that Norm gave us last time. I'm not sure I have the original, your original Norm. And I had some thoughts about. I don't want to start over with what we've done or anything, but, so Norm, you had year 1, 2, 3, 4 down the first column.
Oops.
And then you wanted to you had 3 columns of list your recommended actions. You basically had the first column 3 times, and I changed it so that when we're looking at it, we know what it is, because we didn't have a description, it was just the chapter and verse, you know? So I inserted the description and then the time frame. So what we would be doing in the time frame. So that first
Yeah.
one, planner EDC. I just gave it a brief description of what the entire action item was. But then that's completed, we hired the town planner and created the economic development director position that would have done the things in that
Mhm.
recommended item. In my mind, I was using this to help as the user, this is how I'm gonna keep track of my things
Okay.
and what we said, the time frame. Partial completion phase
Yeah.
1, and I didn't really know how we were gonna score these. It's partially complete in this year. Does that mean I completed in year 2? You know what I'm saying? I'm starting it in year 1.
Mhm.
Am I listing it in year 1 as my commitment? But how do I tell you I don't plan to finish it in year 1, I plan to finish it in year 2? Right.
Well, remember, if you say you're gonna do 1, you're gonna get 100 total points.
So if I don't finish it in year 1, but I report to you at the end, I'm 75% of the way there. That's how we would do that.
Right, and you would get so many points for that one, and you'd get points for the other ones you're working on, so you would get more than 100 points. So you get to claim
Or
one.
what I just say, if I plan to finish it in year 2. I'm gonna start it in year 2, even though I really started it in year 1.
Well,
You really wanna know where do we start
Right.
and what we
Well-
expect to complete, correct?
Yeah.
Well, I think all we care is when do you plan on completing it? When
Yeah.
you can start it
Start early.
anytime you want and get credits.
Mhm. Let's think about that.
I didn't mean to make it difficult. This is the way organizationally it made sense for me to plot out.
Right.
Um. You know, so the transportation for the bus stop. That's essentially done. All we have to do is figure out where the bus stop will stop. On that, but by the end of the year, by the end of that fiscal year, we'll have that done. So even. Having, I think we have four, did I say we have at least four complete? Already.
Yeah,
Or we will have four complete by June 30th. I couldn't even get agreement that we would schedule just those four that are already completed. That's how much pushback we got. Select board.
Well, that's why we have elections right there.
Well, that's what Russ said, actually. We have elected officials who decide those things, and we want whoever the creators were of this, and I reminded him that the creators were elected officials.
No, that's not why we have elected officials. We have elected officials that get. We, the people, are telling them what to do. Their job is to find the way in which they want to do that. But you're still gonna have to do whatever that says, because the people of the town have told you already.
Yes and no. These are recommended actions in response to what the community response was to the master plan development. The recommended actions, it is not a vote by the people to implement that book.
That's what they would need to say. Joyce. That's like,
Essentially,
yeah,
essentially. What they are pretty. It was very conflicting, and I'm sure you both were on the thing, and I was sitting over there or downstairs. I found a lot of conflict within myself during its development as well.
Yeah.
In the way it's written, the entire climate change chapter, as a matter of fact, isn't even a required chapter. It was inserted by PVPC with their public good goals and objectives. That wasn't the community necessarily.
Yeah.
So I was conflicted with that. And there's a lot of things in here that have developed around that. There's a lot of actions in that chapter. So I fully understand what he's saying. There were things I objected to as a resident in the development. But perhaps, we're just discussing this, perhaps it did go a little too far in the actions. And it maybe should have ended with the strategy and assign the parties to implement those strategies, not those finely detailed that are perceived as directives. We're telling them how to do their job. This is telling them what the community wanted. This is, I think, the objectionable part, is we're telling them,
I agree, it's granular.
yeah,
And we debated that at NPAC.
often.
Yeah,
That's part of the first, that's what I'm saying. You guys must have been very conflicted as well.
but
And then one of the other objections was, well, who says that's I'm paraphrasing and, why is that my job? Is that really my job? And that was the best, if there was no one who technically, this is a good one. There was an objection to establish and fund a position for the grant writer to assist all the various departments, and it was stated very loudly that we have people that write grants and they do a splendid job of it. Why do we want to disrupt that? I totally agree. But that's the opportunity to say, that's the argument. We have grant writers in DPW. We have grant writers in the planning department who are experts in those departments. We don't need a global generic grant writer. That's the answer.
That's the answer, right? I mean,
yeah,
I said, some of these things are already done. And I'm trying to convince you guys who are already convinced.
Mhm.
And maybe he just missed that meeting where or that distribution of information when we did this about how to change. And did you send those to Russ by any chance?
Yeah, I did, next
Okay.
morning.
All right, perfect. Okay, so missing, and now I'm not saying every group we sit in front of is gonna have that reaction or dig their feet in. But be prepared.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
one of the things that stressed me a little from that meeting was the non-experts put this together and now the experts are told to implement it.
That was the perception.
That, yes, so it bothered me that, you know, like he didn't know how much we put into it.
I
Okay.
agree,
So
we can't, and I took objection to that too, because I put just as much
Yeah.
as you guys
So
did.
what I did was, I says, well, how many hours did go into the master plan development?
In all those weeks.
And I come up with an estimate.
Well, I'm sure. It's
Okay.
substantial, right?
Worst times the number of people,
Yeah.
right?
Well, basically, I broke it down to. We met for two full years, 24
Yep.
months. I said we averaged 1.5 a month.
You betcha.
Yep,
Most of them were twice a month.
Mhm.
yes.
I say we averaged 12 people at a meeting. And-
Way more than 2
At
hours.
least.
And we averaged 2 hours, so 864 hours just in meetings, but then was meeting prep.
Yep,
So it's the same thing, so I'm saying each person spent 2 hours preparing.
yep.
Well, we know that some people
Some
didn't
more,
do
some
anything, but
less, yep, but as a general rule, that's probably.
but some of us
Some
did
of
a
it
lot.
substantial.
Okay, so I think that's a conservative number. Then there was administrative support. We had John worked
Okay.
and we had,
Mhm.
who was taking the minutes and. So I said, there's 4 hours of meeting per person. To do that for another 288. The survey, there were 905 people. I said it took 6/10 of an hour. On the average, 543 hours. There were 12 public sessions. I said we averaged 20 people, 2 hours a session. Plus there were staff. That had to prepare to get there and stay after, so I gave them 3 hours, another 840. And then, Pioneer Valley, no, I wasn't sure if we paid them 50 or 75,000, maybe you remember.
And the biggest thing, one of the biggest things to me is we paid them at least 50 minimum. The first part was 50. I think it was
Okay,
50.
well, if we can find that out, that'll increase the hours. Okay, and I said the average fee of $100 an hour, so I got 500 hours from it. And I threw a miscellaneous of 10% in. So we estimated that we spent 4,300 man hours on this. And based upon that time commitment that the town made and these people made, we owe it to at least properly address all 140 and give them an honest up or down.
Right,
This is-
even if
Okay,
it can't be done.
right,
Right,
I agree.
okay,
And what's important to me in that was the number of survey respondents, 905 adults. We assume adults, which is more than 10%. If we count all the adults, the population is like 9,700 people and that includes kids. That was more than 10% of the community that cares responded versus the community that doesn't care. That was important. But we don't have to. And I don't agree with probably a good 50% of what's in this book.
Yeah.
Myself.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. It's if I don't agree with the ones that are assigned to me, it's up
Yeah.
to me to support those and make the recommendations. They won't be done, at least in my term.
those ones, there are plenty of them on our list.
So,
Those are the low priority items. When we get to them,
okay.
then we'll be, maybe even discussion about this and even the thing that happens special.
I mean, when you've gone through your prioritizations and you with the planning board, have you sensed that lack of enthusiasm, let's call it?
Say no, actually. I don't know. I mean, obviously.
You haven't got
You're a
into,
lot further down the path than
Yeah,
we are.
well,
but-
and I was glad that very thankful that we had that just in time for that meeting, right after we did our goals and objectives.
Some are already in the works too. I mean, much like in your situation.
Yes,
Some are already
correct.
ongoing.
Which,
So-
which I said that let's just take the pat on the back.
Yeah.
That, yes, we were in
Because-
tune to
yeah.
what the community wants. That's what we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Let's,
Sure.
good job. And I couldn't even get agreement on the completeds. It's really interesting.
But no counter offer or any recommendation.
No, we tabled the discussion at that point and we'll come back to it.
No, I had a sleepless night that night.
Me too,
I
me
thought you
too.
probably would. So the next morning I says, well, let's add on to our change presentation. And give them some examples of what cancel could mean, okay? So I
Or
modified,
defer any action, maybe.
so the first page is just the cancel one, no changes,
Mhm.
okay? The second page is saying reasons available for canceling an item. The solution to address the action already exists. That was one thing that Russ brought up, that he was concerned about. Well, the existing exists, but you prove it to us.
Simple, we just say it's completed. It was already in motion.
Well, he's seeing some of the SEMA stuff. It exists. Well, I'd like to see that and I'd like to review that.
All right, and
Is-
let's
is
just
the-
talk about that for a second. So what's difficult, sure which one that was. That I said was potentially LEPC. You've got it on there. Which one did I say was? I think it's at the bottom of the first page. It was about isolated and
Last three are housing.
vulnerable populations. Is it that one? Was it climate change 1.2? That I mentioned LEPC.
Yeah,
All right, so the full, let's just,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't mean to dwell on this, but just for clarity. Sometimes there is a lot in one action. There are a lot of commas or semicolons, and that's a problem. They tried to cram a lot into that concept. So identify and develop a list of isolated and or climate vulnerable populations within the community, such as older adults, people of color, adults, children with disabilities, LGBTQ+, community members, low-income households, and others. Cut all that out, with the aim to establish a robust and ongoing outreach program. Outreach on what? Climate change or security? It's vague. What do you want to outreach about? That climate change exists? Is that up to us to, I question myself, is that was a low priority? Is that even up to us? Anyone, any town organization to educate people on climate change? Not really. It's a global issue. If it truly exists. And again, that's one that PVPC inserted
yeah.
for their goals and their legislative mandates. But we were, there was another one similar to that about communication. Oh, Climate Preparedness and Resiliency Committee that can support decision-making of other departments and boards and commissions with research and awareness of how to take climate and sustainability into account. Committee to include student members from local school district. So there again, I think I said that. And I was mistaken, LEPC is Local Emergency Preparedness. That is for hazmat only, and I didn't realize it was hazmat only. I thought it was any kind of emergency, and I thought they worked with SEMA.
Yeah,
Russ was saying, Russ Anderson or the select board member, Russ was saying that's what SEMA does. I'm like, well, that's not exactly what SEMA does either. So do we change the chart? Do we add or enhance SEMA's charter for outreach and communication to prepare the community in an emergency. If we have horrendous flooding like North Carolina or wherever, everywhere else that's flooding, SEMA will react, but will we have prepared people where to go? That kind of outreach. That I think might be worthy.
Yeah.
That's what I would change on those, but I can't even get someone's minds to read it and see what's what weakness do we really have?
Mhm.
Let's take that recommendation and identify what's the real weakness.
Right.
And take an action on that.
Go back to the modify slide.
Yeah.
You
So,
know,
yeah, is it that or is it outright cancel because what it says they don't like?
yeah,
But again, I'm an elected official. You're gonna tell me what to do. You're gonna tell me I have to modify what people couldn't put in their own words. And now I'm gonna try to interpret what they said.
Why was it even let into it if it was that vague and not clear whatsoever?
It was a committee of how many people, Norm? 12 of you?
It was 18.
Um,
well, we're 18 and 2 students, so.
and it was clear. And
Well, we
part
care-
of it
we
is,
care
no,
about
part of
the
it is
issue.
go back to, the strategy, all of these actions. That action 1.10 relates specifically to strategy 1. You have to kind of read strategy 1 to then interpret so it's kind of out of context. This list that we prioritized is totally out of context. They're just random things. If
You do
you,
have to go back, if you're gonna have an action, you do have to, go back to the strategy, make sure.
this is going to the grocery store, putting a bunch of stuff in the cart without knowing what aisle it came from and what you're trying to make with the recipe, and prioritize these, which ones would you use? So not to overload people with giving them the book, but they kind of needed the book. They don't have any idea what the context is of 1.10. Which is, I don't even know what it is. If you read that, it probably makes a lot of sense. What is it? Oh, it's open space. Hang on one sec. Let's see if that makes sense. Open space. The 1.10 is the climate change preparedness and resiliency. Strategy 1. Open space. Educate. Continue to educate the town's populace and officials on the value of the natural resources. As the town continues to sustainably develop, we continue to offer opportunities for residents to learn and support stewardship endeavors of our aquifers, air, soil, open spaces, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's education.
They have such a thing that wants you to be educating us.
I didn't agree with that one. I would have added more. I would have added what to do in an emergency.
Okay, but even with what it says on there right now, does it have anything that it's saying educate?
Educate.
It's a
And then
broad
all of these strategies are actions to educate the community, other boards about sustainability and resiliency of resources. So as an example, I think all of these are just on a piece of paper and not in context of what their purpose was. And if we can jump around a little bit in this discussion, Josh was gonna work on what to put out on Instagram and the Facebook pages. And he was going, I think you were going through all the list of strategies and kind of like, where do I start?
I really thought I had dyslexia or something, but it just like it is very not like
It's
it's a
it's
tough-
a bunch
tough
of stuff
one.
in a grocery cart,
Yeah,
right?
it's
And you
not-
don't know what the goal is. So thinking about his pickle plus the lead parties, perhaps what Josh would want to start educating on is the strategies in a chapter for open space. What's the strategy, and post those to get people interested. And maybe the lead parties, we need to point them to the strategies.
But is it the issue that people don't understand the actions, either the actions are vaguely worded, or that people don't understand the actions because they don't have the context of the strategy? Or is the issue that people are just like, I don't care what it says,
It's all,
you're not
three.
forcing me. to do
It's
this."
all three. It's all three. It's all three. Um.
Yeah.
Norm knows, he was at one meeting where, first comments were, well, this isn't a mandate. This is kind of like voluntary, right?
Let's see.
Who said that, a 5-year-old?
They need to be rationalized, right, and figured out, I mean, obviously, there's a process for changing, canceling, whatever, you're modifying action, say. Yeah, so that's. As written right now, it's possible to change it. If you don't know what, but it's something,
Inventory, somebody's action, buildings and grounds, inventory municipally owned historic properties and collections. And plan for resiliency in the event of a disaster or weather by completing an inventory of those properties and addressing preservation. Standalone, you're going, huh? What am I doing? But if you go to the strategy, it's elevate the awareness, respect, and pride of our town and our historic and cultural history. Preserve those things.
Okay.
Plan to preserve those things. And lastly, on my liaison report, I will just say that there was a suggestion that we look at some other contact some other towns who are actually implementing their master plans and see how they did it, what they did. Well, when I developed the charter for the master plan implementation committee, that is exactly what I did. I went to towns that had done one and approved it and looked at all of their charters and what they did, and I pulled all of that together into what we are doing. How they executed is another question. Was it successful? And do we want to do that? Reach out to some and say, how's it going?
probably worth. He's already.
But we don't know if their master plan looks like ours to that level of dictation either.
Yeah.
We could look, I'm sure they're
Yeah.
posted. We could look.
Yeah. Did you find, were there a lot of towns and cities that had done a master plan?
Yeah, I had
Well, it's
6, 7,
required by the
8.
state to do one every X amount of years, right?
It's a recommendation, Norm. You don't have to do one. It's a recommendation. Yeah, I mean, I found 6 or 7 or 8 maybe that I found commonalities, and Jessica
Yep.
helped me
Yep.
wrap it all together at the end.
Yeah.
So we took from what others had done. We don't recreate the wheel either. We took from what others had done. But again, if we were going to inquire of some other towns that are doing it, I would want to know if PVPC did their master plan or not, because some of them did them themselves, some of them had other consulting firms help them develop it, and
Yeah.
some had PVPC.
Yeah.
And whose agenda is interwoven in here.
Yeah.
And is their format the same? Did we take it to this action item level, or does everybody else stop at here's the strategy, which is really the goal? And we didn't give people goals, we gave them do this. That's what I'm
Yeah,
hearing. So that's, let me see if that's all I had about that. We can certainly ask PVPC for some towns that they did that are actually implementing or implemented. Or we can, just reach out and
Yeah.
find some more if we choose to do that.
I found my contact with Ken Omia. He's not very responsive to my emails.
I call them. I email and then I call them. And I'm just following up on my email. But anyway, so let's go back to reasons for canceling.
Okay.
I didn't mean to get us all off.
That's all right.
track, But it kind of,
Number two, due to environmental, technical, or organizational reasons, the action is no longer required.
explain and explain.
Uh. The environment has changed. I don't know if I can give you an example.
No, I mean, I want them to explain.
Oh, right, oh, yes,
They can't just say, yeah, we don't feel like that anymore.
right. The cost to implement far exceeds the benefits of the project, and that would not be available for 5 years.
I'm not so sure I understand what that 5 years. What do you mean?
We don't want them
Oh,
to.
They have to justify that, though. They have to have done, they would have to have done some analysis of what that cost is
Right,
and what the return would be
right,
in order to make that statement. So they'd have to validate it.
that's fine.
because I think what's gonna happen is we're gonna get requests to cancel 30 of these
Yep.
in our lab. In the very near future,
And that's,
You're gonna get 15 from the select board.
yeah,
I mean,
Because those suggestions, and the reason on a good number of them are gonna be, you can't use taxpayer money to benefit this particular group of people, or you can't use taxpayer money to create a
Yeah.
program to do X, Y, Z of a special interest.
Mhm.
So a lot of those gonna be, you can't use taxpayer money for that.
mhm. Well, legit, if it's not legally allowed, then, okay,
That's why they were never gonna be a yes vote, because they just couldn't,
can't do it.
a good number of them just can't do.
That's-
And I didn't wanna
I-
waste my vote. My priorities. But that was one of our reasons we did say that was one of the cancels was it wasn't legal.
I think that wants to be added. to this list.
yeah.
I just want to say, so are you, I mean, by not available for 5 years, what are you saying is that
They can't. They can't
we can't kill something for 5 years from,
for that reason,
for that reason? You gotta keep it on the books, you can't,
yeah,
so just couldn't. I mean,
well, grants might become available. That aren't there
cost
now,
to the town as opposed to the cost to, like,
Yeah.
for example, I think what you're saying is, there's some item out there that's gonna cost $1 million and it just doesn't make any sense. But if the state comes and says, hey, here's $950,000 and now it's only cost us $50,000. Oh, yeah, okay, maybe it's something worth doing.
yeah,
Okay.
Well, and on the second bullet, due to environmental, technical, organizational reasons, I guess. Federal and state government is an organizational reason, I'm not sure. But for instance, solar initiatives, well, all those solar incentives went away. Legislatively, those went away. So those are not feasible now.
right,
Well, I guess that would then fall under the cost.
Right.
But see, that shouldn't say not of it. We already know that. We already know we can't do those because those aren't coming back for the
Yeah.
next 4 years. At least, and that depends on presidential changes.
yeah. Okay, the next one, there's a better solution to solve the issue, propose a new action item.
That one I like.
Due to lack of manpower, project cannot be completed at this time. And I think we gotta qualify that and saying that's for departments, not for committees and commissions. Again, they can't claim it for 5 years, though. Cause the reason why I think we're gonna say.
Give me got an example of that one that made you come up with that one?
Well, I'm sure there are several in the DPW.
Yeah.
That right now they can't handle because they just don't have enough manpower. But if you make them wait 5 years, they may be able to get to it. But from a committee standpoint, you and I have had this thought that a lot of the committee members are really not active. And they could spend more time working on solutions to these projects.
I don't know, in my mind, the canceling should be more of. This is just a bad idea, or this needs to be changed, or, you know, whatever, as opposed to, I'm just not gonna get to it. That's more of a priority call.
There's a couple that are pie in the sky.
Well, yeah, or there could be something that's just, it's just not feasible, right? Something like that. I think is a reason for cancellation. I just didn't get to it.
So, so I was putting this together is justification for us when we
Mhm.
get this pressure coming back. Hey, we got the man hours
Mhm.
that we deserve. Each of the 140 items deserve an honest evaluation. Okay, and the hours support that. And this is saying, there are some reasons to cancel, and here's some of them. Okay,
All right, there are gonna be reasons to recommend
Cancel it.
canceling.
right.
Right.
That would come back to us to say is that
Yes, included but not limited to.
they
Because
may
there
have
could be
another
some-
reason, right? There may be some other reason
Right.
and then other justify.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the big message we want to say is, look, if you're gonna cancel it or. Getting some. Decent justify the old. Community, the justification of. Why.
Okay. So I think when we go to our liaison meetings, we should bring the copy of the
Definitely
change
need to
with us.
remind them to change and
Okay.
cancel. Cause as they get into it, though, they may find
Mhm.
this really isn't us now that we understand it.
Yeah,
I think they do need. Does every lead party have a book?
we had a problem in printing of books.
Yeah.
And all we got was, I think, 30 copies.
We have a Word document or a PDF?
It's PD, I believe it's a PDF online.
Does anybody have PDF tools? That we could cut out? I suppose.
I had the pro PDF, but I did that from Impact and then I did away with it because I wanted to be able to convert from.
I don't have a workable, I have a free version of something
Yeah.
that's crappy.
Yeah.
Just that we could cut out the strategies for everybody that might. I don't know. So when we go to our liaisons, do we go with the strategies,
I believe I have a
And
list of strategy.
the reminder? Okay,
I believe I published that.
okay. So remind, I gotta take notes here. I'm the secretary.
You got fired up.
That was a lot of discussion.
That's probably.
So we will bring reminder of change and delete options
Mhm.
and modify.
Mhm.
We'll see if we have the list of strategies. And I guess ask them to look at those tasks in the context of the strategy it goes with. Recommended actions. What else did we say? Did we settle on anything
I
else?
think that's, going along with this strategies and then those have changed things, but I mean, are others, maybe I'm just misunderstanding, are there some statements of just blanket rejection of everything, if like you can't tell me what to do, so I'm not doing anything, or is it more of,
Yes, there's some of that. So
I
remind,
don't know how to, I don't think we've addressed that particular problem.
so we should remind the groups of the composition of the MPAC,
Yeah,
that it was town officials elected and appointed.
Mhm. Plus members of the public.
And at least 900, 905-ish.
Mhm.
Those are only the respondents to the survey,
Right.
not who attended all those public sessions.
Yeah,
And either way, it's gonna be reported annually in the master plan. I mean, in the town report. So if you choose not to do it, it's still gonna be reported. You choose to put your
Mhm.
head in the sand or your heels in the ground.
Mhm.
we should have to include, I gotta share this with you.
Now we're getting into the hard part of this. If we thought figuring out how it was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be reported, oh boy, that was the easy part.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Young man?
With government, this is just rough. Yeah.
If you have resistance from the school committee, how will you address that?
What I think you might get at the school committee is I think Jennifer did the prioritization and she probably didn't talk it over with the school committee.
Perhaps, maybe.
I'm suspecting
Lack of consensus shows up.
No, they probably did in executive though,
Oh,
so not in front of the public. But they probably did it,
okay.
cause that's not something she would do without.
Oh, they could have done it independently, like we are,
Yeah,
so.
okay.
I mean, but when we go to the school committee, they're gonna want very clear. Like ways to go about doing these things. They need.
Oh, they want you do this?
No. I'm like saying very specific, like actions probably. Not stuff that's gonna take time to interpret and stuff.
I don't know what their,
I don't feel like this was needs. List.
you know, I don't have
Mhm.
I don't think they had a lot, right? Couldn't have a lot.
Let's see. Let's see.
And then with
like
climate change things, when they're saying educate, the event be something where they say, well, for the youth, we should be having school educate.
It says including a student representative, I just didn't finish reading. For that purpose, you betcha. Yes. What are you looking for, Norm?
I found my document on strategies.
Strategy.
What I did was, put for each chapter, I put the vision of the chapter. I did strategies. And next to the strategies, I put the action item numbers on that.
Okay.
I have to pretty that up a little bit because I never presented it to anybody. But I do have most of the work done.
All right, it doesn't need to be pretty, it's a tool,
Yeah,
it needs to be functional. All right, well, we'll have to, well, you'll see the school, because when you did the schools get sent out already? Are all of the,
requests for
The
completions. are all
completions.
finished.
okay, so you'll get it,
That's
you'll have to,
the reason
you'll have
why,
to forward the others to us then that we just took on. And you can see what there is for the, how many there are for the school. I can't imagine they have a lot. They probably have more support than they have need. So, all right,
So I will send you that because it went to Jessica.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just, and to Josh.
School committee has 3 lead action items. And 0 support actions. No, wait, sorry, that's social committee. Can't read. School committee, 5 leads,
Oh.
15 supports.
okay,
Okay.
fair, it's good
Keep
to
that
know.
up.
So what's an example of a lead? Do you, oh, you don't have.
I
it
only have
listed,
the
you have the
numbers,
number,
yeah.
okay, all right, So,
I can put
you'll,
that up.
you'll work together and
three.
figure that out. And the best way to hopefully you'll have a lot more luck than I did.
Or you, like, is it something where we're sitting down with the entire committee and we're just like talking them with them?
Yeah, you'll go to the school
Go to
committee
the-
meeting and,
We're gonna figure it out.
you'll offer to help them with
Yeah.
whatever they need to.
I don't know if they do it. Will they respond? You, because when it's like, well, it would be put on the agenda.
You're
We have
gonna
public
be on the
comment.
agenda,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not doing public
I
comment.
was gonna say, they don't respond. to
Yeah,
that.
that's public comment. You're gonna ask for an appointment on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
agenda to go through
Okay.
that.
No, he was going to,
Yeah.
he's gonna put a line item on the agenda, is what he said.
Yeah, right, I assume that's already
Okay,
been requested.
school department, okay. Yeah, they do have 5. I don't have it on what the 5 are on this sheet, I have it on a different sheet.
Okay. All right, well, you'll figure out your presentation.
Okay,
Hopefully you get a gung ho response. All right. That's all I had to say on that.
well, it was a healthy discussion.
Well, we certainly met it head on.
Yeah, so it was good to-
Minutes, yeah.
And you could ask anybody at the school committee meeting. We also have 2 openings now on the master plan implementation committee, if they would like to serve on another committee while you're there.
Right,
Just throw the invitation.
Yeah.
Huh?
Getting them to serve on the subcommittees. is
Well,
tough,
maybe
but
this would be of
yeah,
interest, perhaps,
yeah,
or they know someone, or
That's
I would
something I
just,
wanna put on the Facebook
Absolutely.
thing
Yeah.
as well, because that's really the best way to get out.
agreed. Okay, I'm sorry, I was jumping to the
okay,
next. agenda.
anything else on liaison activities? Okay,
Makeup of our. This committee, do they have, are we obligated to get 2 members of the public? Which would in theory mean that.
yes,
Yes,
People who are not
that's-
on
that's
the committee
who's-
somewhere else,
yeah.
or just, like they're,
It was me and you as the board representatives and 3. And Norm is a
at-large.
community, yeah, he's an at-large. With a lot of.
School committee meeting, we can ask in a general,
Oh,
I mean, is anybody
absolutely,
here
oh, the
interested?
community,
Right,
yeah,
community.
yeah.
but theoretically, could a school committee member be on here, because theoretically, then they're not part of the, I mean, I don't know, they are public, but. Or are they a representative of the school committee, you know what I'm saying?
They can
Do you
be,
have to
they
be a
can be. both.
resident
They
of
can-
Southwick?
Alright, alright.
School committee is a whole nother government.
You have to be a resident of Southwick though.
We
right?
prefer you be a resident of South
Okay,
Oaks.
so that's.
good.
Yeah. We didn't have anybody apply. That was like a business owner in Southwick, but. So,
Anyway, okay,
so yeah, I would encourage you to do that wherever you are.
Okay, next item on the agenda, request from the Conservation Commission to transfer climate change 1.3 to the Climate Change Committee.
That would be, the select-
Is this the select board?
Ah.
Well, we didn't send it to. So during the Conservation Commission meeting, you know, when we were looking at doing our completions, we reviewed the individual items, and climate change 1.3 reads, and I quoted, organize hybrid workshops, discussions, public forums with guest speakers that aim to educate residents regarding climate change, the impact of changing temperatures and rainfall, floodplains, localized flooding, etc. These sources include the local university. And as we discussed this, we were already interested in climate change and the impact it has for conservation issues. But we didn't feel that this was the right place for this one. It was almost like they didn't know climate change committee was going to exist. But you read that, it could almost be a mission statement
well, again,
for climate
this
change.
goes back to one of the early parts of our conversation, that the whole climate change chapter was a political insertion. And is that a tax consuming committee that the town really wants? It's a good question. This particular task sounds like it belongs with the library. It's a good program that the library might find. They do all their education programs. Sounds like it belongs in the library. To me. And there may be other things that I said that wasn't appropriate for taxpayer money to be invested in those kinds of things, might be library. General education to the population. So
It said to-
I will bring this to the select board. And make the recommendation that we transfer that to the library.
Okay,
That's the way it's gonna go. You're gonna present this, you would present this to the select board as a change item.
yeah,
Well, is this group going to approve this recommended change to the select board? Climate change committee. That's the first thing, is we have to decide that makes sense, correct? That was our
yeah,
process.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, the process was we're supposed to notify the climate change. As soon as they'll accept it.
Okay, if that's the
Okay.
process,
Yeah.
then I will bring it to
Okay.
our next meeting. I'm not sure if it'll be Monday the sixth, because we have that ceremony, but
And then I believe it goes on to say that even if the committee doesn't want it, MPIC has the authority to send it to them.
I believe that is true.
I believe
I
it
think it's
is.
true.
And it does not require a select board or planning board approach.
can I have somebody's that did it right on there? A clean copy.
And Pick has the authority to make the transfer or not. No approval of select or planning boards is required.
Or could we, I'm not sure in that process,
Mm.
or could we determine the better location and bypass all that administrative discussion? It's an education program for the public. Doesn't belong in the library. Well, that is certainly gonna be my recommendation.
Yeah.
Once I present it to the select board as a liaison, I'm gonna sit on the other side of the table and say,
Yeah,
I think it's an education program, perfect for the library.
we didn't
Can we
address
shortcut
that, because MPIC had
Yeah,
the
we did.
authority to change. The
It's not
request from
specific.
Commission A to Commission B.
Yeah.
We didn't address that.
That MP can say, yeah.
We said we would go through the parties that were,
Yeah.
In the
just
fight,
ones where I
right?
can talk about it, yeah.
We'll leave it to you if you don't mind.
all right. Okay.
All right, anything else on that particular subject? All right, let's move on to signing up for the timing of the MPIC lead action item completion. We have one item, sign up for. The item is on the second page.
Oh, as the.
Oh, yeah, that's, I'm just thinking, oh, this is our.
Yeah, we have
This is,
to,
we have an action, we need to,
we need to
fulfill.
say when we're gonna complete this.
I say it's 6 months ago. No.
I say there's 5 action
Yeah.
items here. Number 1's complete.
Mhm.
Number 2, use the master plan recommendations and implementation table as a guide for decision making. I can't find that. Number 3 is complete. Number 4 says we can't complete it for 7 years. We have to issue our annual report for 7 years. And number 5, we have not incorporated support parties at any point in time yet.
Wait a minute.
You have a different document.
Yes, I only have 4.
Oh, 5th one is implementing this, bringing the support parties into it. It's a requirement that you bring the support parties into your process of completing your project.
I have number 4 is right, ensure the implementation
Yeah.
committee includes participation input and updates from the high speed internet committee. And additional
Oh, okay.
rates.
All right, so 4 is. Okay. I don't know, I got a different 4 than you did. But it's not here now.
Well, your 3 our 3 is develop an annual master plan implementation progress card.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's complete.
Filled out by us.
And discussing updates and priorities and plans. Progress card will be
Okay.
in a separate appendix.
Okay, so 3 and 4.
Oh, there was a progress card in the appendix?
Yes.
Oh, is that what
I-
we're using? Or you created?
It's modified.
Okay, all right. And then completed
Yeah.
for at least 7 years. Okay,
So 3 is not complete because it has to go on 7 years.
okay.
Right. Then 4, ensure the implementation of the committee includes participation input and updates from the high speed internet committee. And additional fiber experts.
So are we breaking these into, well, no,
Well-
the establish a master plan implementation committee was actually the select board and the planning board to do so, so it's not really us. Sunsetting the advisory committee is the select board,
Yeah,
so we're really looking at 2 through 4. Right? We're not gonna be graded on stuff that
right.
the others did. So we really have 2, 3, and 4. And we're gonna make those actions, individual actions, is that what we're doing? To plot out?
Well,
Kind of like I did,
it's closure of the entire thing is what we're looking for here. So when will we complete the last item? We won't complete number 3 for 7 years.
Right.
that's what I'm saying, are we breaking, is this,
We, outside of this task, we can do anything we want. But when will we complete the entire task? I'm saying really can't be done for 7 years.
yeah? By order of what was written in the book,
There, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, well, we
Yeah.
could change that.
Yeah.
This is. I mean, it really simply, it's just. yeah,
Number
we're-
4,
We're gonna get action item number 1 done in
number,
year 7.
number 4 doesn't even belong in that.
I- yeah, I-
Because it's the high-speed internet committee is an action by itself for the high-speed internet committee. It shouldn't even be in here. And this is another problem with the book,
Yeah,
is there are a lot of participants in the development who also had special interests that they were driving very strongly, that became themes throughout the book. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Why is the MPIC to ensure the implementation of the high-speed internet committee and additional fiber experts
Why is it?
to develop, to address the development? There's a committee for that.
Yeah.
When that was written, I was like, what, that's just a special interest insert to make sure it got all of the attention it deserved.
okay,
It doesn't belong there.
so do we need to do a modification?
You do.
I would say yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is the master plan recommendations and implementation table? I should probably know. Where exactly is that? Or is there one? Maybe that's the other thing. Or maybe I shouldn't feel so stupid for not knowing what that is.
I don't remember, okay? And the interesting thing is, the only one that I thought would have generated that would have been me.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure.
And I don't recall, I have to. I got a bunch of files in my old computer, I'll have to fire up my old computer and look for
Where does it say that? What is that?
Item number 2.
2. Oh. Recommendations and implementation table.
As a guide for decision.
I
Yeah.
think that was pretty much your. Yes. I think it was this.
it. Oh, okay,
Okay,
and. And we're doing that,
Yep.
I guess. All right.
if that's
Yeah.
it,
That's okay. All right.
And then you've modified the report card.
yeah,
Mhm.
All
okay,
right, so look at number 3, the second part, and convene an annual all boards, committees and commissions meeting to share progress. That ain't gonna happen, folks.
No.
We're asking them to do the report card. We're gonna send that out. We're gonna ask them to report to us via that. We are not gonna have a
Everybody
meeting
come
in the
together.
auditorium.
No.
Ain't gonna happen. And we don't have any authority to do so.
so we'll modify 3 and 4,
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay. I'll put something in writing for our next meeting that officially allow us to vote on it.
Okay.
Sure.
We can modify it. It
Mhm.
doesn't say anything about, we created liaisons to all these different boards and commissions. We can modify it to include that we will maintain those liaison
Mhm.
for at least
Okay.
5 years. Or whatever we want to commit indefinitely,
All right.
if you want to
Yeah.
add that in
Add one up.
as a tool.
The fact
That's a
that to add
tool.
in that we're doing liaisons with the other. committees.
Yes. Well, it'll be automatically be brief because of our liaison approach. Okay. So do you wanna wait till the modifications in before we select the time period when we'll complete this?
I think yes, but I think. It does bring up the point of, all right, so this item, just by the way it's written. It's gotta be in year 7 or later.
Right,
And
So we're not gonna
we're
do anything
kind
for
of-
7
Well,
years.
that's the
It-
thing,
That's,
but we are.
that's why I
So
said, so.
why I think there's a kind of a problem
You
with
have to
these.
break them down.
Yeah,
There's, like I said, there's a lot crammed into some of those actions. This is a good example. There's a lot crammed into there. There's 4 separate steps.
Yeah,
Those are 4
Across the
separate
contract.
actions we took.
yeah,
right.
And 2 of them, 3, if we add the liaison, so the liaison, the tracking, the report card, so we've. Put in place 3 of them. We have completed 3.
right. We can't claim it completion for the whole thing until we issue our last annual
Then
report.
my recommendation for our next meeting is that we modify this into
Or something.
4 separate actions.
3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because that's what I'm telling, that's what I'm going to be advising people when they have one of those big combined
Yeah.
actions with a lot of semicolons. What can you do? What is the impossible?
Yeah.
Focus on what you can. Let's modify out what you can't,
Mhm.
what isn't gonna happen. Or, like I said, or take all those concepts and consolidate it into an action that is encompassing of the strategy. Go back to the strategy. What's our strategy for that item, Mr. Cheever? I don't even know where that is in the book.
Action number 0.
It's in the implement.
I think it's right off in the.
Is it right in the front?
beginning.
Yeah, there is no strategy, nothing.
I think so. I think it's just.
It's just a suggestion. It's a good idea to have an implementation committee. No, it just goes right into the chapter, so I don't even know where that is.
Here it is, in page 11.
No. That's that. Good eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. So we don't really have one.
Oh, yes, yeah. Strategy.
I mean, we're making one.
Overall.
We don't really
Like,
have one. Somebody had to,
There
it
was,
wasn't even a master, it wasn't even a select board or a planning board action to create that
that's correct,
MPIC.
that's correct. It did have a strategy.
It's just a sidebar.
But the planning board moved it from wherever it was.
It was, I remember
To the
the conversation to, yeah, because it
Oh.
was stuff somewhere that didn't make it that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly right now, but.
I mean, I could find it, but
Well, we're creating the report for the annual town report each year, so I think that's our, I don't see us mapping out commitments we're the live action version of it. And we're gonna be doing that twice annually in front of the 2
Yeah.
boards
Yeah.
and the annual report.
now, the issue I have with creating 3 new action items just for us. And if we do it for everybody, it's a nightmare from a logistics standpoint to the person that has to modify them. the law. And then,
Yep.
and we won't be in a position to give a good report in early December. I don't think. Because the actions, people making commitments on the 140 right now. If we're gonna modify that to make it 210,
They're not gonna map out all 140. They're gonna map out what they can do in the first year, 2 or 3. Realistically, that'll probably be 3 per group, realistically. I would think, and some of them only have 2. It's not gonna be 140 scheduled year 1
that's for sure.
or 2 or 3. They're only gonna pick the ones, they're low hanging fruit. They're gonna do like,
The ones that are on-
like I tried to get my buy-in, we already did. Well, yay. So, but they have to have the leeway to modify that because it just doesn't make sense, or finish the sentence because it's not clear.
Mhm.
They have to have that leeway to, develop that based on the strategy. Not suggesting that everybody's gonna go in and modify things, but if they're struggling to pick those first
Yeah.
ones at least, we've got to be able to tell them, don't look at it so granularly. Go back to the strategy, look at those things. If you need to modify that to what your even if it's your interpretation, that's what you're being charged to do to achieve that strategy. So I don't think we have a lead action item. I think we're just the reporters. We're the implementers and the reporters. I don't think these are really our actions. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I believe it's our actions. We're coordinating the response to the public on how well we're doing.
Yeah, that's one, I think that is, that's really the. Whatever it is. We have an ongoing action, it's, the reporting. First 2 there are.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That
But
is what we were even created for. It's not really an action within
it's
a.
our fundamental purpose.
I mean, we could do our annual report or our semi-annual reports. One of. Our mid-year report, 1 of 7. Our end of year report, 1 of 7. Next year, it's our mid-year report, 2 of 7. So there's a finite up to that 7th year. Without having to map out I mean, what is the purpose of mapping that out?
Mhm.
Cause we're gonna do it every year too.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it every year.
It's just gonna be part of our normal.
So based upon that,
That's my suggestion. I think it's just a tedium to assign us a scorecard when that's what we're here for. It is this is our only charge is to
right,
Yeah.
but
implement and facilitate the implementation and record it and report. That's what our duty is. It's not an action item to the goals of the master plan.
Right, just.
so you want me to remove it from the list of action items?
So.
So instead of 140, we got 139.
There you go. Well, have we canceled
Wait a
any
minute.
officially? Yeah,
Yes.
wait a minute. We could be down some more. I just see it as. It doesn't mean anything if we tally this every year. We're just gonna report, we're gonna do this every year. We're gonna say, we're gonna do this report card. We're gonna complete it this year. We're gonna complete it year 2. We're gonna complete it again year 3. We're gonna complete it again year 4, 5, 6, and 7. Obviously, that's what we're doing. 2 Wednesdays a month. And the time we're meeting with the others.
Okay,
Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Not really?
it's fine.
Okay.
All righty. Anything else on that subject?
Nope.
Okay. And let's go to old business. Tracking log. Have an update on that.
Yeah,
Here,
maybe.
maybe only go.
Oh, yeah. You got one.
Did you do that?
Order.
All right, so we added the new, fact that we sent out the request for completion schedule. It all went out. Two were in, as I already mentioned, conservation and open space.
Yay. So I still see an R in the select board. I'm to assume you still haven't received those middle supports.
That was, what's the select board?
Support actions. We still needed that, you need the top and bottoms from someone.
Yeah.
I handed
The
them.
top for,
I handed the hard copies to him again.
yeah. But I put, I think it was top and bottom, I just put on the list, the top 7 and the bottom 10, whatever it was.
Okay.
I don't expect to get it now. I don't know if it matters,
I'm not sure.
you know,
If it's for the support actions, it will be in the normal course of business
yeah,
that we would move those things as well. Okay,
okay on that,
all right.
all right. And then the last item on the list is update on our Facebook page. And I'll be honest, I haven't done anything new on that.
We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah. Josh is,
So I have. I wanna change the logo, that's one of the Instagram and Facebook. Also, that was the thing that was talking to you about, is that I need like the. Cause what I wanna do is current situation, like why it matters and what we're doing to address the problem.
Mhm.
So is that gonna be in there for all those things? Cause I'm reading through it and I'm just.
Well, let's see, issues and opportunities. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I'm not sure I understood the question.
We asked him to, do some routine postings on Facebook just for awareness and interaction, let them
Right.
know things that are being addressed, et cetera.
Yeah.
Because that's so far, but that's like basically just copying from the master plan itself.
Yeah.
Just patching it.
Is the current situation and why it matters, is that in here? Or did you create those headings?
Yeah,
Okay,
but I.
and did you synopsize the chapter that way?
You mean,
What did you put in there for the current situation? We don't know how to print anything, sorry, so. Why don't you read what you got here? So just give him, so he just was doing a little thing like this, if you can see that. And a topic, why it matters, and what does it say? What we're doing,
How to address the problem.
and how to address it. All right, so why don't you read what you pulled
Mhm.
together just to give us an example?
So current situation, Southwick has a limited inventory of homes in sale or for sale in line with an overall regional inventory challenges. The town has an aging population with a 64% increase of seniors age 65 plus in the last 10 years. With the average home age exceeding 40, the median home sale price exceeds $426,000, which is greater than the average for Western Massachusetts. The percentage of children and young adults has declined nearly 22% in the last 10 years. The pricing of single-family homes is a barrier to attracting and or retaining these same single people and young families.
So you read the chapter and pulled those important pieces out. Good job,
Yeah.
excellent. And I like that you pulled out what you read as important.
And I made those parts bold.
I would probably put it in bullet format,
Oh, wait,
easier
I
to
didn't even
read,
have the
rather
why it
than,
matters. That was just me copying this top part and making it into another
Oh.
text bubble.
Mhm.
So that's the thing, the why it matters. I don't want to use my own wording.
Mhm.
I don't want to make another issue.
Mhm.
So that's really what I need help on is if that's in there, then, isn't it?
not really why it matters. Per se,
That's something you pull on your own.
but maybe that's where you grab the strategies. The strategies are what are we gonna do? What would we like to do about it?
Mhm.
And you could paraphrase the strategies. Provide housing,
For the what are we doing about it, right? Supposed
and then it doesn't get into the nitty gritty of the recommended
actions.
actions.
Include the why it matters.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
More like, this is what the master plan
Is
advises.
what we advise.
yeah.
Yeah,
like
and then,
that
yeah,
better.
and then I think, yeah.
But I would put it
Strategies a little bit.
in your first one, what the problem is.
Yeah.
I would try to
Mhm.
make that bullet points easy, just quick
Yeah.
read eyeball, not a paragraph, because
Yeah.
nobody wants to read paragraphs anymore.
Yeah.
Or do the word bubbles, or,
So summary.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
and then I think if
Strategy
you,
succinct. Housing chapter.
and I wouldn't start with the housing chapter. Yeah, I would not start there.
Yeah, that was another thing that I thought. would
You,
be-
you might start with open space, maybe. But I like that you did, that you read it, and
Yeah.
that was a lot of work just in that. And then I think if you paraphrase the strategies, and we'll all review that and make sure we like the way, what it says, and it's not gonna start a fire somewhere.
Yeah. So strategy. Let's see, strategy one, provide housing stock that protects and maintains the community's scenic, natural and historic resources.
And look at all of the strategies for that chapter and kind of. That's kind of an odd focus for the first one, isn't it? When you read all of those, you're gonna find the gist is everybody wants it to remain farmland.
Yeah.
That's the
I'm
gist.
not just gonna tease them with the show.
We all have to. That protects and maintains well, I shouldn't say that. That's the gist of this is everybody wants scenic, natural, historic resources to remain in place, and we don't really like big development. Would you agree? That's the basic thing that came out of this whole process.
Yeah. Small.
So if you look at all of the strategies, the second one is promote housing that is financially attainable. To me, that's the first thing. That is attainable and attractive to all ages and households.
I think that's why I originally had the why it matters was to explain, okay, we want to do the farmland stuff, but why is it important?
Why is it
to even
important? It's
focus on
because our
it?
kids can't afford to stay here.
That's
Because
what-
when we get old, we can't afford to stay here. That's what's important. And maybe you want to put that in as a summary at the end.
Yeah, And I mean, I think that's pretty clear when you have a 22% decline in children and young adults in 10 years. That's-
Yeah.
I thought it was 10%. That's,
So I guess if you look at, just look at all the strategies for the chapter and kind of. Maybe that's the first 8 things is the 8 releases are, each chapter gets that kind of summary.
Okay.
I don't know, what else what do you guys think? I like where he's going with it.
Yeah,
I do, yeah.
yeah.
But they gotta be brief
Really clear.
and really quick to read, but catch your interest, so you wanna look for the next one. And then maybe we can take those 8 chapters, part 2, here's some things that the groups have maybe then we get into these things were prioritized as
Yeah.
important. In the second round of release.
Yeah.
so,
But I really like where you went with that.
so housing's not gonna be the
Not a
lead.
lead,
No.
no, not a lead.
Land uses, they're all tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, economic development. Like that's,
you know, there's 8 chapters. Maybe just work one chapter at a time, write them up, we'll all review them, we'll wordsmith them.
Mhm.
And then we'll just release it randomly in no particular order. Or alphabetically, or shortest chapter first, who knows?
yeah,
But let's get them all
Yeah.
together maybe, and then we'll do that planned release.
okay. And then
And that's a lot of work, thank you.
what?
Reading it and
Summarizing all this.
and encapsulating it, yeah.
With the Facebook, did you do the Instagram? Did you look into that or no? You have a
I
shot.
haven't yet.
Okay, so
I had a busy couple of weeks.
And what did we have to do with that?
you
This
have
isn't-
to
it's good.
look if there's a way to make it so that it can post.
Simultaneously?
Yeah. But I don't know if you need another account and then link it, or if it's,
Yeah, we might have an issue with you posting on the Facebook page, because I thought Marissa said there was only 2 people that could do it. She's one and I'm the other.
Yes, but can you change? If there's 2, can you delete one and then add another?
Yeah,
At some point, people
yeah,
are removed
Yep.
from organizations. It can be a max 2, but you can probably change them. And I don't know that we want Josh necessarily posting. Does he have authority to post? We'd have to check that. It
Yeah.
might have to go through you
Yeah.
to just actually
Yeah.
post.
I'm actually.
You
yeah, I'd
would
rather
set it
read
up
it.
and
Yeah.
he would approve.
Exactly.
I think you can set it up and he has to approve, release the post.
I'll let you
Okay.
know. So,
Yeah. And this is a no response Facebook page and Instagram. It's just outbound only. There's no comment.
okay. I'll put Instagram back on my list.
And I can, if we need to meet and I can help you with that or whatever. Cause I mean, the members isn't a priority then. Cause if it's just gonna be you posting it, if I send it to you, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Okay.
But you might want.
At some point,
I don't
you
know,
might-
you might want to build it right in there, though.
No, I just built it in
Stuff,
Canva.
right?
I just built it in
Okay.
Canva and
Okay.
then.
Let's see what we had.
down-
Oh, where's that?
and so that's,
Sure.
that's the logo for the thing and
Just for the minutes here. Oh, current. Okay, so you were,
current situation and then how to adjust. Is that what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna read this.
so you were summarizing the current situation, and then you would paraphrase basically the strategies.
Instead of how to address the problem. You might wanna make it a little more.
The current situation, is it what, not listed as problem, how did?
How,
Well, you can-
what I'm saying is, instead of, how, current situation,
How to
Where
address
we-
the situation.
where are we going from here? Or something like, a little more
Okay.
forward looking as opposed to,
Okay.
where's that? I think?
Mhm.
So. You Where we're going or
Where-
where we plan to
where
go.
we plan to go, you know. Where are we going? It's good.
All right, and then you'll draft those, we'll all review them.
To do it instead of current situation, where are we now? Where are we going?
Yeah,
The situation isn't always necessarily negative, but it will be
Yeah.
perceived as that.
No, that's
So,
okay.
yeah.
It's, I think if you put up there, people think that all this is, they still not much our town sucks. you know.
Here we are. We are in some.
All right, good.
um. Shoot, I have one more thing to bring up and I forgot what it was now, because this was another good discussion. Shoot, what's important? I don't know,
We'll come to you when we end the meeting.
you betcha.
Ride home.
Yeah.
Opportunity.
That's where are we on something, but. Okay, I guess I've had it for today.
All right,
I don't remember.
anybody else got anything to bring up?
Um. Oh, what's the status of our, we were talking Monday about December, we were planning to meet, we need to. Fine tune our. Meeting, we have to plan our meeting in front of the select board and planning board, and what are we gonna present and. Et cetera, so maybe our next meeting, we talk about that,
Okay,
because we're in October,
Time.
Yeah.
we're in October,
Sarah will be here. Everybody.
and our next meeting is
10/22.
10/22. Which is the fourth Monday of the month.
Cause, I don't wanna leave the whole presentation to you, Norm, and have you have to scramble on it, we can help you figure out what we're gonna do.
Okay,
And we should probably try to schedule a. Joint select board and planning board meeting, we'll have to invite the planning board to the select board because they don't do it the other way. Um. When's your next meeting?
Our next meeting is Tuesday.
Tuesday, so you wanna mention that,
Yep.
and maybe you can suggest a date or two that we can get it on the select board agenda. You can let me know, cause
Yeah, sure.
I set the agenda for
Alright.
the select board, so,
There you go. All right.
alright,
And then wants to be sometime in the.
early December,
December
cause then we get
timeframe.
into well, after Thanksgiving, so probably, did we say that already? So we said probably the first week of December, right? Because then we run into holidays at the
Yeah.
end
Yeah.
of each months. And it would be a short joint meeting.
Yeah.
Anything else? I have nothing else.
okay,
That was important to them. They couldn't remember until the very last.
all right. Now I'll take a motion.
Dave's gonna make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second,
Roll call vote.
Diane Gale, aye.
Dave's gonna.
Cheever, aye. And at 8:49, we are closing the meeting.